Hey everyone, coming on here a little bit earlier today. A couple things planned later on today, so I want to make sure we continue with our If We Only Knew. Today we're looking at day 23. It's here we're on a 90-day journey to inspire and motivate and make changes to become a better version of ourselves. If you're watching this live, be sure to leave me a comment. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay in the comments so I know you watched. We're continuing with items that mislead us to prevent success. So yesterday we talked about living a disciplined life and how it's preventing success. If you want to hear what I had to say about that, head over to donandrews.com/YouTube and you can watch that video. Today, we're covering the topic of willpower is always on, will call. You see, when we tie our success to our willpower, we set ourselves up for failure. You've all heard the term, where there's a will, there's a way. I challenge that thinking of willpower is always on, will call. Studies show that, willpower or that ability to delay gratification is a huge indicator of future success. And you may recall or have read about before, there was a marshmallow experiment that took place in a nursery school that was located at Stanford University years ago. And they used children, I think, of ages 4 to 6 as their subjects. The children were led to a room and made sure there was nothing in there so that it was empty of all distractions. And they had a marshmallow placed on a plate on a table in front of them. Now, the children were told they could eat the treat, but if they waited for 15 minutes without giving in to that temptation, they would be rewarded a second treat. Well, what the video revealed is the children had difficulty waiting for that second marshmallow. Roughly 1/3 of the children ate the marshmallow immediately. Then a second third of that group of children visibly displayed difficult waiting and held out for, a short period, but eventually ate the marshmallow. And then lastly, 1/3 of the children held out for the second marshmallow before eating them both. And surprisingly enough, what they found out, they tracked these young children as they grew up and found out that 1/3 of the children that waited for the second treat typically did better in their schooling as they became adults. So it's interesting. So this test proves that many of us, struggle with willpower. I like to think of willpower as a battery on your cell phone, if you will. As you as you use the phone, the battery slowly dies. It'll eventually die and then will have to be recharged, right? Well, same thing happens to your willpower. It has limited battery life, but it can be recharged with some downtime. A full day of using your willpower can leave you without it at the end of the day. It has to be managed. We don't have endless supplies of it, right? So scientifically speaking, some researchers propose that brain cells working hard consume glucose faster than it can be replenished. So there's some science behind this as well. Think of willpower as a muscle, and the more you use it, the weaker you become until you recharge. So how do we manage willpower to our advantage? Well, you make doing what matters most a priority when your willpower is at its highest, right? So we want to do the most important tasks that we have in our day early in the day when your willpower is when it's at its strongest point. So what's the takeaway point? Do what matters most early in your day when your willpower is at its peak strength. Also, think about eating well-balanced meals frequently throughout the day, so, smaller meals, and it will help you recharge that willpower as well. Well, that's all I got today to talk about. Join me tomorrow, day 24, for If We Only Knew, and we'll continue to cover. I believe tomorrow is the last day, or the last item that's going to prevent us from success, and we'll discuss a balanced life. Again, if you missed any of these lives, head over to my YouTube channel. The link is posted around this video or around this live, and you can catch up on what you missed. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.